Welcome to another yoga video. This time we've come outside because the sun's shining, beautiful blue sky, and I'd just like to continue with my little series on beginners or just basics refresher yoga. And moving on from the previous videos, if you had a look at part 1 and part 2, you will have seen just some basics on posture, on breath, and very simple stretches that we did sitting. Just a reminder of just spending a few minutes to arrive into a comfortable position. I'm going to come to standing very shortly, but whether you're sitting or standing, always good just to loosen up those shoulders and to check in on your neck. And especially if you've been working or doing tasks where you're concentrating on something earlier in the day, it might be that neck and shoulders, maybe you've been driving, carrying, shopping, whatever, that we need to just loosen up there. So whatever yoga you're doing, try to always incorporate a few moments of checking in, of arriving, rather than going straight into, rather than just launching straight into your first downward facing dog or whatever you're going to be practicing. Take moments to properly arrive, and by that I mean checking through your whole body for any tension anywhere, but also to calm your mind, to get rid of the busyness of thoughts that have been crowding your mind, and that will really pay off. So once we've done that and we just want to open up into a bit of a stretch, let's just take our arms out and up, bring the palms together, and just a little note here, when we have our palms together, this position here, Anjali Mudra. So a mudra is a hand position, sometimes involving one hand, sometimes involving both, and this is the one you'll probably see the most often. Fingers and thumbs are lined up, and we will commonly bring the thumbs in towards the chest. Try and just relax the shoulders down and find a connection with your breathing, and think of this just making you think about your chest, your heart center. Anjali Mudra, the Anjali Mudra is connected with the Anjali chakra. So a chakra is an energy center in the body, and this one is the one that's connected with the heart. Okay, so just have a little, just something to ponder on while we have our hands in this position. And then let's come up to standing. Okay, so a nice way just to loosen up and get rid of any tension also is just to turn the hips from side to side. Let go of the weight of your arms, just let those arms feel heavy, let your hands, your fingers, your thumbs relax. You've got your feet about hip distance apart, and all you're really thinking about is just turning your hips from side to side. There's nothing complicated about this. And as you turn your hips side to side, your arms are just going to swing, because you're not trying to make them do anything in particular. We're not controlling what the arms are doing. We're just letting them swing and flop. And this is just a lovely release, really encouraging a bit of loosening up, maybe any tension in the lower back and the hips. But at the same time, because we're letting go of those arms, the weight of the arms and the hands combined is encouraging the shoulders to relax. So let's just slow that back down again, and we'll come to Tadasana. So Tadasana, Tadasana, is mountain pose, and it's a really useful one to practice regularly, just to check on our posture. Even if we do it when we're not on a yoga mat, when we're in a queue at the shops, just to check how our posture is. And the more that we do that, the more awareness we'll have for when things are not quite perfect, and we're more likely to just put things back how they need to be. So feet are hip distance apart. Just lift and spread your toes. Give your toes a stretch, and keep your toes lifting and spreading while you put them back down. And as you do that, and just noticing soles of the feet. So it's usually, if you can, it's ideal if you practice your yoga with bare feet. Then you just have a bit more awareness of the connection you're making with the soles of the feet to the mat, to the earth. And also when we come into moving into standing postures, we're less likely to slip. If we're wearing socks, then we're probably going to maybe just at risk of a bit of a sliding around there. So bare feet is ideal, but just notice if you haven't got bare feet, You know, sometimes we might spontaneously want to do some yoga somewhere where we're wearing shoes, and that's fine, but just be aware of how your feet are positioned, on feeling grounded, and thinking about our hips also. How are our hips positioned? We want the hips to be level, so notice whether you have a tendency to sink into one side or the other, and try and bring those hips so that they're level. Let's bring our shoulders forwards and up as we were doing before. Inhale forwards and up, maybe exaggerate it a little bit this time, and then back and down as you exhale. Let's just do that again. Inhale forwards and up. Just let the hands dangle, let the arms dangle, and notice what happens when you roll the shoulders back and down. You might find that the hands kind of just want to turn out to face to the front. Just take a breath here. Breathing in, and imagine that thread connected to the crown of your head, and it's just gently being lifted, so you perhaps can feel that you're growing slightly taller. Just let go of any tension there in the shoulders, let them melt back and down a little bit more if you can. Standing tall. Let's circle the hands out to the sides on an inhale. Take a deep breath in as you take the arms up. Palms together again in Anjali Mudra or prayer position, Namaste, different names that we give this position. And then just bring your hands in front of your chest. Notice your feet again, spread the toes, and feel how you're sending roots down through the soles of the toes, so the soles of the feet. So feeling really grounded in the lower body, but at the same time, just let the upper body feel light. So maybe your chest can lift a bit, maybe the crown of the head can lift, the neck's getting longer, the spine is lengthening. Lightness in the upper body. Let's again take those arms out. This time we'll bend the knees a bit so we can make a slightly bigger circle, and then we'll straighten the legs as we come up. Reaching up to the sky this time, look up at your thumbs. As you exhale, lowering the thumbs down towards the chest, and let the chest lift up slightly to meet those thumbs. Relax your shoulders. Good. Okay. So from here, let's step our feet a bit wider, and we're just going to look at Warrior 2, which is a really nice stretch. So turn your left toes out to the left. So your left toes are going out to the side, your right toes are facing forwards, and that heel is in line with the middle of the instep of that right foot. Hands on the hips, bending the left knee, and just come in and out of it a couple of times. This is a nice gentle way to work with this. Inhale, straighten it again, stand tall. Exhale, bend the knee so you can feel you can stretch in the thighs, and you can feel you're sinking into your hips, sinking into that knee, giving a bit of a stretch there. Just come to where you can. If there's any stiffness, any tightness, any resistance anywhere that feels a little bit awkward, then don't push into something that you think is where you should be arriving. At full stretch, that knee is above the ankle, or not going quite as far as that. We want to avoid it going further. So if you feel that you're going to keep on going, that you can keep on going at this point, make this space a little bit wider so that you can still give yourself a maximum stretch, but that knee won't go beyond the point where it's above the ankle. Take your arms out to the sides and looking out to that left hand and beyond the left hand, out in line with your middle finger. Keep your torso upright, so we're not leaning over to the left, but we're just keeping that torso like a plumb line at the middle, and then we're taking up as much space as we can. Palms are facing down, the shoulders are still relaxing. Sometimes when we reach out there, we can have a tendency to sort of really go for it and then feel that the shoulders are lifting up. Relax the shoulders back and down. Remember, the shoulder blades sliding down the back of the body. Okay, so this is Warrior 2. Engage your core. Think of those abdominal muscles. Just pull the tummy in slightly. Let's bring the knee back. Just relax the belly. Stand tall again. Relax the arms. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale. And just put it all together again, coming back into that Warrior 2. Then we'll bring our right hand to our hip, and we're going to turn the left hand to face up. On an inhale, we'll sweep that arm up and bring the upper arm towards the ear, still bending that knee so we can still feel the stretch in the legs. if we can, we'll bring that right hand and just slide it down that long leg at the side there. But again, come to where you can. So if there's a bit of stiffness, if you're new to this, it might be that you're just coming to, to here perhaps. Maybe not coming quite so deep into this stretch. You find what works for you. Keep your chest open. Try and keep that top shoulder rolling back rather than rolling forwards. Maybe you can add a mudra, a different mudra, index finger and thumb coming together on the top hand. Listen to your breath and choose an inhale. Choose one of those waves of breath and let the in breath help you to come back. As you take a breath in, travel back with that. Let's turn our toes to face the front. So we're facing forwards with a wide stride. And again, circle the hands out and up, looking up to the sky, up to your thumbs. Exhale, bring your hands in front of the chest. And again, out and up. Exhale, maybe we even bend the knees a little bit here. Let's bend the knees. Bring the thumbs to your chest. And then just come back up to that neutral position. And we'll just do that on the other side. So we'll turn our right toes out to the right. Again, the right heel is lined up with the middle of the instep of the left foot. Let's try this out for size. Maybe just the hands on hips at first, bending the knee. This side might be different to the first side. Maybe we can go a little bit deeper. Maybe there is a bit of restriction and we need to be a bit cautious, and we might just be coming to here. Maybe not going that far. Maybe we're coming to here. Maybe we find we could go further, but we can see that that knee is above the ankle, so we make it a bit wider. Stretching, we add in our arms. So just let your arms just float up to the sides. Arms are at the level of the shoulders, so we're not up here, we're here. And again, you're looking out along that arm, looking out in line with that middle finger to a horizon, perhaps. If you're inside, if you're indoors, imagine you're looking out of a window. If you don't have a window, looking out at a distance. Again, shoulders, check your shoulders. Can they roll back and down? Standing steady, but really feeling that flow of breath. And we can come out, bring the knee back, relax your arms for a moment, take a deep breath in, exhale, come back into it. Let's reverse our warrior two. So when we take this other sweeping option coming into changing the position, it's reverse warrior two. It's sometimes called peaceful warrior. So from warrior two here, again, just bring awareness to your belly, to your core, just experimenting with switching on those abdominal muscles, just pulling the tummy in to feel your strength at your center and relaxing them and switching them on again. So if we reverse it, we're bringing the left hand to the hip. We're still bending that right knee. We're still sinking into the hips, turning that palm to face up. On an inhale, sweeping the arm up and making that beautiful curve at the top. Maybe we just keep the fingers as they are. Maybe we bring index finger and thumb together. Lift your heart. Just think of lifting your heart, and perhaps you keep the hand on the hip, or maybe you can slide it down that thigh, depending on how deep we're coming into it. Feel that beautiful opening up here, that stretch at the side of the body, side of the ribs, side of the waist. And again, listen to your breath. Come back on an inhale, lift up and release back out. And let's turn those toes to face forwards, and we'll just take a little forwards fold here. So hands on your hips and just hinging at your hips, coming forwards. Maybe you bend your knees a little bit. Maybe you can bring your heels in slightly so that the toes are going out at a little bit of an angle. Try and keep a nice long spine, and perhaps we just bring our hands onto our legs. You could hold opposite elbows if you're coming a bit deeper, but just be careful if your lower back is tender. You might want to just stay a bit higher up, or if your hamstrings are tight, you might want to stay a bit higher up at the moment. It all kind of comes gradually. If this is new to you and it feels that this feels a bit of a challenge to come down any lower, then don't force yourself to come down any lower into your fold right now, but try and practice it again later today. Try and practice it again tomorrow, and build a habit, and then gradually you'll find there's a bit more flexibility that comes your way. Maybe you bring your hands on your mat or onto the ground. If you've got something with you, like a cushion or a blanket, you could put put your hands onto that. Sigh out a couple of breaths, and then just bringing those feet in. I'm just coming to a little squatting position here for a moment. Heels are coming in, toes are out at an angle, rolling those shoulders again. Bring your palms together. We can come forwards into a bit of a forwards fold again, hinging at the hips, and maybe we use our elbows just to nudge those knees out a bit more, encouraging the hips to open up. Just let your breath relax. Take a little side stretch here. Right hand onto the floor in front of you, reaching up with the left and looking up to the sky. If this is too deep, coming into this squat like this, your heels could be lifted or your heels could be down on the ground. If it's too much, you could just do this version where you're coming to here and you're just taking your side stretch like this. So that could be a nice alternative if coming down deeper is not for you. That's absolutely fine. Swapping sides again, so either bringing your hand onto the ground in the middle, or if you're higher up, just bring it over onto the opposite leg, and we're going to reach up. Giving ourselves a bit of a twist and coming back, and we're going to leave it here. So just bring your palms together again into Anjali Mudra, and we'll say namaste and see you next time.